Archaeology is often the only way we find out about people who lived in the past. Most people in the past did not write about themselves and had very little written about them. This is true about the people who lived here in this cabin. We know some of their names from the censuses taken after the Civil War, but it is the objects that they left behind that give us a rich picture of how they lived. These objects help us imagine their daily lives. We recovered large pieces of stoneware crocks along with the willowware plates. Mothers and daughters fed their families using these. We found clay marbles and slate pencils outside where the front door used to be. You can imagine the children who would have been running around practicing their lessons, then finding a time to play. We found so many buttons, underwear buttons, fancy buttons. This was a time before zippers, and we found jewelry as well. It makes it easier to imagine the men, women, and children dressing for work on the farm or dressing for church on Sunday. We also found a Union military button here. Could it have been George Dorsey's button, who lived as an enslaved person in this community and joined the Army at Ellicott Mills in 1864? A blue scalloped edge plate dating between 1800 and 1830 reminds us that people lived here for over 100 years. On the other end of the timeline, an aluminum hair roller, popular in the 1940s, brings us close to the time when people left to rent somewhere else or to buy their own homes. Looking at these objects and historical records, we can imagine large families with 10 or more people lived here and gathered for meals, work, and play. The artifacts we found represent the choices made by the people that lived in this home, often within the confines of racialized society during the enslavement and the Jim Crow era. Each artifact tells us a story and is a tangible representation of their daily lives, struggles, and triumphs. To see a recreation of what we think the outside of the third cabin looked like, scan QR code number 8 to continue your AR adventure.